Hi, Recovery Girls. I'm Kristin. I just had a moment this morning where I went into one of my really familiar pre-recovery behaviors, and that would be catastrophizing. Without going into all the details of the situation, I got some information that was upsetting to me, and instead of just stopping and praying and trusting God about it and turning it over and doing the first 3 steps about it, I immediately jumped to a place of fear and started catastrophizing about what this mistake that somebody else meant and what it was going to cause and all the problems it was going to cause. And to summarize that in one word, I like to sum it up as catastrophizing. I'm really good at it. It's a very familiar behavior for me. Now, the good news is, as we say in recovery, progress, not perfection. And so after years of recovery, the good news is that I didn't explode on this person, nor did I send them a nasty response over email. That's how they gave me the information about this mistake that they had made. And I'm not trying to downplay my response because it was actually a pretty big mistake, and she apologized profusely. But what I have to remember is that we're all human. We all make mistakes, and that ultimately she's not in control and I'm not in control, but God's in control. And so I, thank God, was able to respond to her with grace and tell her I forgave her because she had asked for forgiveness and was profusely apologetic. Internally is where I really went to catastrophizing. So the good news is that I've made progress, and I am no longer totally catastrophizing by throwing fear and shame and blame on other people. It was only happening internally. One of my favorite recovery analogies is that of potty training. So I have my youngest is 3.5. And so we went through the whole potty training thing about a year ago. And at first, she could not manage it to save her life. She would wet her pants. But eventually she stopped wetting her pants and started making it to the toilet, and had fewer and fewer accidents. In fact, when she was born, she had no idea that she had even wet her diaper at all. And so it is with a lot of our pre-recovery behaviors. Let's take catastrophizing, for example. So before recovery, I wasn't even aware that I was catastrophizing. I thought that a lot of things were true catastrophes, and I didn't realize I was amplifying them from my perspective or reacting out of a place of fear. And so as I grow in recovery, I have become aware, okay, that's catastrophizing, but I might not be aware that I'm doing it until afterwards. As I progress in my recovery, I have fewer accidents, but I still do have accidents. So it's a progress. It's a process of progress. And I'm so thankful to learn that in recovery. Even when I do have terrible fears about what something has happened and what it's going to mean and how it's going to affect me or others, I have seen God allow my worst fears come true to be turned into some of the greatest opportunities for my character development and for my spiritual growth. And so when I can take a moment to step back and pray or turn it over to God or reflect on what's happening instead of just reacting, I can realize that it ultimately is going to be in His hands. He's ultimately the one who's in control. And that even if really bad stuff does happen, if I allow Him to work in my life, and if I allow Him to work in the situation, He can use everything for my growth and for the better, for myself and for others. I'm so thankful to be on